nice call. I got a little information. I put some intel out that I really thought was pretty solid for Wednesday or Thursday. Then we heard that we would have notifications today or tomorrow. So I'll get back into that in a minute. But what was going on, let's call it Wednesday morning, yesterday morning, was it? Hold on. What's going on Tuesday, starting in the morning, they were starting to ping between redemption centers, banks, using the Starlink satellite system in conjunction with the QFS, the quantum financial system. All of that was happening not only here, but around the world. All banks, all redemption centers, pinging through the Starlink system and connecting through the quantum financial system. That was to occur and end at about 10 o'clock at night last night, which was Wednesday night. And it ended up going 4 hours longer, which would put it 2 a.m. in the morning. So they wrapped all that up at 2 a.m. in the morning this morning, Thursday morning. And then the point was, when those banks and redemption centers had completed all of the pinging around the world, the rates on the screens would become live. Now that's in banks, on bank screens, and in redemption centers, the rates on their screens would all be live as of 2 a.m. in the morning this morning. Now, it's been a little tough to get detailed information on this. It's probably just as well. But we did understand that there was a conference call yesterday from noon to 2 Eastern that would have incorporated all of the redemption centers, leaders, and bank managers, at least bank managers throughout the country, the U.S. And then what was interesting was that there were two main things that they discussed from what we've heard on this conference call, one of which was that these currencies which we're exchanging, they are not a taxable event. Now, how long have I been on doing the big call? 13 years. We've known that forever. But some people did not know that it was a non-taxable event. And it was designed to be that way on purpose. Well, certain people in the deep state would like to say differently. Some of the bankers and so on the call thought that they had heard that it was taxable. Well, it doesn't matter what they heard. It's just not true. It's a non-taxable event. Now, the income that you earn from interest being paid on your accounts in the bank, that interest is called passive income, and it will be taxed. But the event itself, the exchange of currencies and the redemption of ZIM, is not taxable. Okay? President Trump made sure that it would not be. So that's important. And the other thing that was brought out was they went back and forth, I guess, and discussed this in a way that was definitive, finally. Remember, I've been telling you guys to ask for the contract rate on dinar if you have Iraqi dinar, and that would be substantially higher. I know roughly what it is. It's much higher. And I was told that they discussed this on their conference call, and it was determined previously that everyone with dinar would be offered the contract rate. So that's a win right there. Not the front screen rate, not the bank front screen rate, but the contract rate for dinar. And so that should be the case. Now, here's the caveat. Let's say you go into a redemption center and you have dinar and they don't offer you the contract rate, then ask them for it. I believe they will, but in case something fell through the cracks, you go ahead and ask them for it if they don't offer it to you first. Okay? That's the way I'm going to handle it. Okay, that takes us through the conference call. Now, what we had heard yesterday was that there was going to be a possibility to get the toll-free numbers either late this afternoon or early tomorrow morning. Well, guess what? It wasn't late this afternoon, was it? So what does that mean? That makes early tomorrow morning look pretty strong right now. And the chances that the theory is that we would set appointments Friday, tomorrow, Friday the 10th, and exchange. If we don't get started exchanging tomorrow, it would be Saturday, the 11th of January. Now, let's talk about R&R. I just heard this evening that restitution and reconciliation allowance would occur after the inauguration of January 20th of President Trump. We had heard that it would be in the first 10 days of January. Well, what's today, the 9th? I don't think so. We got new information that said it would be sometime this month, but it would be after the 20th, which is Inauguration Day. Now, that's referring to R&R. I can't speak to Social Security. That was supposed to happen in the month of January, and still could. The increase could still occur then. But realize what we're talking about that has nothing to do with the RV. Some people have conflated those two subjects. And we believe, based on our sources, that we are ready to get started with numbers coming out to us tomorrow with the emails from Wells Fargo. Now, I know that yesterday funds were moving globally from the Rodriguez Trust, which is humongous and never seems to have a bottom to it. Funds were moving for Nasara and Jassara globally. And we'll just have to see what occurs with that and when that occurs. But it should be after Inauguration Day, and I don't know how soon, but it should be between then and the 31st, which is the last day of January. So we'll keep an eye on that. But what we really are what's most important to us right now is getting in for our exchanges and our redemption of them at the redemption centers, setting our appointments, Lord willing, tomorrow, and then going, if not tomorrow, then Saturday for our exchanges. And if we do that, and we do start Saturday, they would be open Sunday, and you go right on through the weekend. But that's what the plan is, as it stood tonight, half an hour before the big call tonight. So we're just going to have to kind of watch that and see how it all goes. Now, I don't think there's anything related to the exchanges or anything else that is coming to mind right now that we don't already know, but this is the latest and most up-to-date that we have. And I love to be up-to-date and give you the latest thing I've heard. And we've got some pretty good sources that do still try to talk to us. Not everybody that we want to hear from is able to, but I guess we have just enough to give you an intel segment that is the best that we can do.
Hi guys, it's Wolver here, guys. I kept myself quiet, guys. I want to see what's going to be developed, but I can agree actually what Bruce is saying. I think we are going to actually move on to actually hopefully by tomorrow we're hearing some good news that are coming through. All right, Trickle Group should be coming out very, very, very soon. Might be in the hour, who knows, right? So all I can tell you guys, just keep the faith, right? Keep the faith. There's big meetings happening tomorrow, guys. Huge meetings. All right. So, that's all I can tell you guys. So, but, I'm just keeping myself actually, just quiet for the moment and, hope and see what develops and thank God for Bruce that he was able to do that. All right, guys. Have a beautiful day. We are definitely going to pass that finish line anytime right now. Take care.
The first of these is Nobles. All right. Translation sucks on this one. Discussions begin on merging armed factions with security forces. With the returning militias / whatever, the stepping down after ISIS, they're trying to roll some of them, the ones they believe are better trained, better motives, into the security forces inside of Iraq. We'll see how this one goes. It would be kind of like the U.S. military recruiting Proud Boys and everybody else. We'll see how this one goes, but it is making the news. The biggest part, though, is they are trying to make certain that the government itself can handle these groups. Fold the better ones into the government and security forces, police forces, military, etc. Kick out the others. It's going to be interesting. It's a neat approach. We'll see how they execute. Kurdish roadmap. Oh, wait a minute. We really should mix. We got some other good ones. I didn't do them in a good order. Kurdistan roadmap on the Sudanese table to end the salary crisis. They are having a powwow tomorrow. Saturday. This Saturday, they are sitting down to try to work through the last of the issues with herbal Kurdish pay, fees that go. They're trying to pound out this weekend the last of the differences on HCL. I really did mean for that to be the last one and didn't put it in the right spot. The government is determined to remove all foreign forces from Iraq. This article should have been over here next to the first one. They want to remove all of them, including Americans. Now, this is not necessarily the entire government. This is the head of the parliamentary bloc of the National Contract, Abdul Amir al-Mawi, revealed on Thursday the government's intention to remove all foreign forces from Iraq, including U.S. forces. You know what it takes for them to remove all forces, counting Americans. Donald Trump's told us. We were told by Shabibi back in the day. We've been told repeatedly. It means we will have been paid and everything will be good. And they say they're removing them this year. I think we're about to be good in days, weeks, etc. So I did find that interesting that they are pushing again, because I do know that one of the stipulations is you and I and our government being paid. So I thought it was worth sharing that one. We already talked about that. Oh, I just closed one. Give me a minute, guys. I got a happy fingers. Going to have to pull up a link again. There it is. Let's drop this one in here before we get to Dr. Scott. The West regains ground in Iraq as BP, British Petroleum, finalizes terms on a huge Kirkuk oil project, including capturing the gas instead of flaring it. Pretty substantial numbers here. It's huge. Why am I pointing this out? We've seen a lot of advancement of Russian interests and Chinese interests in the oil fields, especially in the northern regions in Iraq. Feels good to see some Western countries now back in play on large projects. Means international, widely accepted international. All right, that one's it. There really wasn't much to cover. Yeah, I love it. Jay was like, Chase here said they want it. And then somebody else pointed, the CBI names two American banks that they work with and correspond with and exchange with, and that is JP Morgan Chase and Citibank, that we know factually 100%, no question, buy and sell currencies, IQD, dollars back and forth with the nations. It's kind of special. Somebody up there said, just tell them we don't do it. Doesn't matter if we do or don't. It's like...
Listen, if you were to ask someone in my office a particular office policy, you have to ask my wife, okay? Sometimes most of the time know it because I'm the owner of the business, right? But she's the one that actually knows the policy. But if you got into a deep portion of the policy, do you think my employees would know every single policy out there?
No.
There you go. Simple.
Kevin just pointing out, JP, they're auditing new banking mechanisms for transfers, etc. They're helping them go international. Yeah, Militia Man's covered it. I've covered it. Dr. Scott, you probably covered it. This is not a secret.
Why do you want to add to the RV thing? Go ahead and let us know what your information says.
Well, people think that the RV has not actually started. It did. It's just that the rollout of it is going to be slower. Now, there's probably a couple of reasons for that. The first being that the stock market has to go down sufficient for the RV to occur, because we are dealing with a situation where we are starting to get, when we do RV, it's going to be RV for gold-backed currencies. Think about that, the significance of that. We can't go to gold-backed currency if we've still got a lot of the fiat in circulation.
Yeah.
There's also been the delay because there's been also a delay because of what's going on in California with the wildfires. And there's a deeper meaning to that as well. The I-5 that runs up and down the West Coast is a child trafficking route, and Hollywood, Pacific Palisades, Malibu, all of this region is deep in it. And they are cleansing California. And there have been directed energy weapons used in those wildfires.
That's right.
We are talking about one of the 34 satanic cities being destroyed. Think about this. It's not going to be destroyed by an explosion. It's not going to be, these are the things that are going on, and this has happened in other places around the world as well, with natural disasters or what, people think are natural disasters. The other delay was the Jimmy Carter funeral. The government is going to shut down tomorrow, the 10th. It's going to shut down for a day. This is when I think things are really going to start happening. It's the ending for this is not for everybody. It's only the beginning for some people. And the fresh hell that has been released on California is there for a reason. It's to get rid of the last bits of the satanic elite who have been involved in child sacrifice, who have been involved in witchcraft, all of these sorts of things. Unfortunately, a lot of innocent people get caught up in it. It's often been said that California is the new Sodom and Gomorrah. What happened to Sodom and Gomorrah? It got destroyed. What happened to Babylon? Hollywood has been called Babylon also. What happened to Babylon? It was destroyed. It has to be destroyed. So, I feel for the innocent people who have been caught up in all of this. And there is nothing like the purification of fire. There's also tunnels there that the entrances are trying to expose, so that the White Hat military can go in and do that. Now, they're talking about the National Guard being on standby for these fire zones. Think about that. Why the National Guard all of a sudden? Are these Trump's National Guards who have all been deputized under federal law? So there's a lot going on, and there's a lot of reasons why the RV is rolling out slower than what was expected. But we are expecting, as Chance said, the EIS or the EBS or whatever you want to call it happening because the stock market's got to go down. Now, could that start happening tomorrow and be final by Tuesday? We don't know. So we just have to we just have to, stay in a positive space and live your life. Very good, Larry. Okay, so the thing is, with Jimmy Carter's funeral, everybody was talking about his accomplishments and what he did after his presidency. He may not have been the greatest president in the world, but he did do a lot of good, and he did a lot of good in his later life because of his faith. So the first point I want to make is you've got to have faith in God. The second, when it comes to the question of life and death, live your life so that live your life in a way live your life in a way so that nobody has to lie at your funeral. And I want you to think about that. And we've all got to do that. And that's staying in positive energy, helping other people, and understanding their needs and wants. Thankfully, President Trump is not so hamstrung. and he's got a team of people behind him that are going to make things happen. Now, whether we see the RV come to us before the 20th of January or not is an unknown. And I would say that for most people, I would say that is going to be after the 20th of January. That's just my opinion. I could be wrong on that. Now, it was suggested that the reason why Iraq, there was a delay with all of this is because Iraq still has sanctions on them and possibly some congressional sanctions. There are no economic sanctions on Iraq by the United States Congress or by presidential executive order at this time, unless they are specifically named persons, and they have all been removed from the banking industry in Iraq. So the answer to the question of whether Iraq is under sanction or not, the answer is they are not. So there's no reason for delays. That's it for me at the present moment. But
the burning, what am I going to call it? The saging of California and how they're saging, and I think it's good. It's cleansing because, like I said, no one's going to want to live in them. No one wants to be on the property. No one's going to. It is a cleanse. It's a different cleanse, and the thing is, the trash needs to be removed completely, and I think that's what they're doing. I don't get anything with Oregon going as in harm in that way. I think with the whole situation with that is, those houses, and this is like with the dragon taking the ocean and saying it's going to burn, and now we're going to pull it back and put it in the ocean. It kind of reminds me, that movie Poltergeist, after the whole house, and it sucks it up, it takes it back. You know what I'm saying? I'm just saying, is the ocean going to take it? Because it takes the evil and takes it into another dimension. You know what I'm saying? And that's what needs to happen, is those houses that they've been doing stuff on and what they've been doing, it completely needs to be into a cleanse situation. And if it was me, I'd be having a bunch of natives lining up after doing a native dance all around the coast to cleanse that stuff up. It's bad. You cannot try to build anything new on there. I don't know who wants to build a house on any of that situation. It would be a no-go. Or even attempt that.
Right. Plus that, I don't know if it's burning yet, but it's going to probably hit that Getty Museum, yes?
Oh, yeah.
Which needs to go to.
Down deep below. So, if you see things dismantling, but like with any storm, there's a part where, it's close to the coast, where the water is. That's where the warning is. But the ones inland, they just got to batten down the hatches on things and stay, hold the line, get through, ride out the storm in that way.
MarkZ Onyx, posted 7:53 a.m. January 10th, 2025. Alert, alert, alert. Since Iran is out, Iraq now will walk on a straight path. Trump effect. The President of the Republic in Iraq met with the first Deputy Speaker of the Parliament and discussed giving people their basic human rights that they denied from them for a long time. Al-Mandalawi and Rashid discussed the legislation of laws with a direct search for the lives of citizens. Today, 21:06, I think it says. It's so tiny. Information, Baghdad. First Deputy Speaker of Parliament, Mohsen Mandalawi discussed with the President of the Republic, Abdul Latif Jamal Rashid. On Thursday, the legislation of laws with a direct request for the lives of citizens. The media office of the First Deputy said in a statement received by Al-Mama that the First Deputy Speaker of the House of Representatives, Mohsen Al-Mandalawi, met in Baghdad with the President of the Republic, Dr. Abdul Latif Jamal Rashid, and during the meeting they discussed the developments in the political, security and economic situation in the domestic and international arenas. He added that the meeting discussed ways to expand the frameworks of cooperation and coordination between the House of Representatives and the Presidency of the Republic in order to legislate and approve laws with a direct solicitation of the lives of citizens. He pointed out that the meeting dealt with the efforts exerted by the government at the service level and the importance of supporting the reconstruction process and rehabilitation and development of infrastructure in a way that achieves the aspirations of the people in a safe and stable life. It's over. It was much more readable, so thanks to Majid. Kumari, Iraq has no stars and no names. Republic of Iraq House of Representatives. 5th electoral cycle, 4th legislative year, 1st legislative chapter. Agenda number 1 for Sunday, January the 12th, 2025. Reading verses from the Holy Quran. The proposed law amending the first law on the basis of equivalence of Arab and foreign certificates and academic degrees, the basis of equivalence of first certificates and degrees, number 20 of 2020, Higher Education and Scientific Research Committee. Second, voting on the proposed law amending the first law of passports, law number 32 of 2015, Security and Defence Committee, 5 article. Third, report and discussion of the second reading proposed law amending the first law of the private higher education, law number 25 of 2016, Higher Education and Scientific Research Committee. Fourth, the first reading of the draft law regulating service fees in centrally owned state departments and their transfer services and Reconstruction Committee, 2 articles. Fifth. 6. Report and discussion of the second reading of the proposed third amendment to the law on compensation for victims who lost part of their bodies as a result of the practices of the former regime, number 5 of 2009, as amended, Committee of Martyrs, Victims and Prisoners, Politicians. No stars, no matter what. The session. Art walls. Now that's what we want to hear today, Majid. Thanks again for your humanitarian contribution to your Dinar family. Les Courtney says, question is, will they take that straight, narrow and righteous path? I say it again, do the right thing for right reason, you get the right results. Let's RV, Iraq. Good playing. Lynette says, we were never meant to be slaves. Trump is freeing us and bringing us into the golden age. Everybody will have everything they want or need. Just trust it. Natalie says the people of Iraq deserve this very long overdue change. Basic human rights should never have been taken away. May they prosper with love and health. Moonsoon says, Iran, bad. Enjoy the show. Bradley, all the Iranians I've met travelling say their community is plagued by meth. Deep dive. Wow. Amazing news for the Iraqi people. All of the changes that have occurred will finally be for the betterment of the citizens, and I'm all for that. Go Iraq. So it's pretty good. Promising. And Kim says, oh my God, I can't imagine how they will feel being free. This is just amazing news. Great news, wonderful news for the people of Iraq. Some say Iraq won't make any financial announcement on Friday or Saturday. Do you agree? Do you think Trump facing sentencing possibility will delay changes? Makes no sense that it would, but the world make no sense right now. Thank you. Damn straight. Let's get this done. Nazara Jazara, LFG. And we really thought the RNO was going to be paid within 10 days, but it's not. It's not our leader's fault. It's not Bruce's fault. It is what it is. So I guess people will have to wait till after Trump's inaugurated. But it's great news for Iraq. We have to think of their people that have gone through quite a lot. I couldn't imagine that happening in my country. We are fortunate. But there's still a lot of people suffering. Doesn't matter where you come from. You may not always see the results of your kindness, but every bit of positive energy you contribute to the world makes it a better place for all of us.